Hey, we're here with Ryan Finn on his boat Jzerro on his Proa. Just got back from his 93-day passage from New York to San Francisco. Here we are at the Richmond Yacht Club in San Francisco. How you doing, Ryan?
Good. Thank you for coming down here and joining me on the boat today.
Curious how you think the Colligo Dux Rigging performed on the boat for you?
I think it performed flawlessly. You know, I've had this windward shroud has been on here since 2016, and since then I've sailed the boat from California to New Orleans across the Gulf a few times, and then from New Orleans to New York, and then obviously from New York to San Francisco, and had no problems with it at all. And I spent on many occasions, whenever possible, I would go to the top of the rig to do inspections, and I never was able to see anything that had changed since departing New York. So I was very happy with it. And honestly, the fact that this mast, this very thin extruded aluminum mast from 1994, is still upright is a testimony to Colligo Marine Rigging and their strengths and stability of the material, including that my diamond shrouds are also Dynex, Colligo Marine Dynex Dux.
Yeah, so diamond stays present a big challenge for rigging in that there's a lot of pretension involved, and as you mentioned, it's a structural component that basically reinforces the mast section and makes it a stronger, or represent a stronger mast section. So those parts are really critical.
They are. They are, and a wing section mast like the one I have is very narrow. So you do need a lot of lateral support, and with the diamonds, I really tensioned the hell out of them, especially once I got for the cold weather I was going to be experiencing around at Cape Horn, and I had no problems with it. If I take the rigging off and I wiggle it, that mast is like a noodle. I mean, it totally wobbles around. So it's, I had this thing up in 40 knots upwind many times in big waves, and I would sight it whenever possible, and was very happy with what I saw.
Yeah, so the big challenge with any rigging material on diamonds is the high pretension, and which can, especially with Dyneema, you could get into creep problems unless it's sized correctly.
Right.
Did you see any elongation issues on your 92-day trip?
I had no major elongation issues. I had set them up as tightly as I could when I was in New York, so that I was prepared for the cold weather at Cape Horn as well. Because in cold weather, what happens is that aluminum tends to shrink, and Dux tends to expand a little bit. So I never had any shroud issues though regarding tension.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we're at Colligo. We're really excited because we basically consider our rigging now Southern Ocean certified. And following your trip, we were all quite amazed at what you did, and it really had us concerned for most of the journey around the Horn down there.
Yeah.
Looking at the following windy and the weather that you saw. So this is really exciting that our rigging made it through here, through your journey, and it still is in great shape.
Yeah, no, it's at this point, based on the experience I have, especially going around Cape Horn and the extended period of brutal sailing I experienced heading up the coast of Chile, it's the only rigging I would really feel confident in putting on my boat. If I were to do another one, I would make sure that I was using Colligo rigging. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is in San Francisco. So,
well, that's very cool, and the testimony is much appreciated, and we're really glad you made it back safely.
My pleasure. Thank you for supporting me.